Okay, yes, my people, greetings to you all. Yes, so I greet everyone. Yes, this is the Comrade Show, and my name is Comrade Lamtek Bomusa Oriahi. Yeah, it's going to be a light one. If you are joining me, please help share the broadcast. It's a Comrade Show, and of course, particularly for those that of the Edos state extraction. We know that a lot is currently ongoing, and of course, depending on what you are listening to, whom you are listening to, and of course, where your direction is, people are consuming different information, and people are taking different positions based on what they are hearing and every other thing. And so, I'm doing this broadcast because I think it's very important that we set certain things right, certain facts right. And again, this is against the backdrop of the fact that in the last couple of days, I've done, some broadcasts, looking into the issues, between the state government and, of course, the Palace of the Oba of Benin and all of that. And rising from that, I've had series of conversations, with people and all of that, and I seem to, get it, even from the comment section and everything, that people just for different reasons, hold different opinions and every other thing. And, people are highly very emotive, and a lot of people hold, their different points. But like I said, it's a conversation that's not going to go away. It's a conversation we're going to, keep having. And it is part of that conversation. As I said, I came out this and said, man, we need to set some things straight. Please help share this broadcast. It's going to be very, very important. We need to set some things straight, some facts straight. And this conversation is going to be, it's going to go around, a lot of, issues as much as possible, just to make the points very clear. Now, I'm going to start with my affinity, with the Palace of the Oba of Benin. And I think what I'm going to talk about right now, about my affinity with the Palace of the Oba of Benin, is exactly the same thing, and more that, those of the Edo State extraction, particularly the Benin's, equally share. And I don't want us to confuse it. I had a conversation with somebody this evening, a very lengthy one, and the person brought in so many issues and tried to wriggle all of them together. And I told the person very point blank that all of these issues, for us to have answers, we must discuss them independently of each other. So I'm going to talk about the importance of the palace, which a lot of people don't seem to understand. I am not talking about our Oba right now, His Royal Majesty, who is currently sat on the throne. I am talking about right now the institution, the palace institution. Now, many people may not understand the relevance, that the average or that the Edo people have, not just in Nigeria, but across this world. Okay, our relevance as Edo people is built from what, our palace is all about. It's built, from the relationship, internal relationship that the average Benin person share with the Palace of the Oba of Benin. This is age long. It is not, you cannot separate it. There is no detachment. The proper identity of the average Benin man is derived from the Palace of the Oba of Benin. This is so important, because if we do not understand this and appreciate this, some of you will just misconstrue, our standpoint or my standpoint and all of that. There is no separation. Today, the whole world speaks about Benin Kingdom. Before Nigeria was born, the Europeans have already identified, okay, right in the waters, of Nigeria, a portion called the Benin Bight, Because this arose from the interactions that before Nigeria was born, that we have had with the outside world as a people. The exploit of our Obas, before now, our Obas, great Obas that have conquered far and wide, to establish Benin as a kingdom recognized by the world. It is one that, we cannot overemphasize. And so the essence of our Beniness is derived from, how we have always, placed our palace far and above every other thing as a symbol of our own identity. I remember there's a passage from one book. I can't remember the title of the book. Now I read this long time ago when, it was recorded when the first Europeans visited, the kingdom. They were surprised at the level of development they met in Benin, and that the development in Benin at that time was at par or even better than what they had in Portugal. You understand what I'm saying? Before modern day development, every other thing, we already, even without vehicles, we already had wide roads, we already had street lights and all of those things. And the connection between the average Benin person and the palace was just so tight. We had a proper central, government. It was a pyramid structure. And you understand what I'm saying? The governing, council of the kingdom was tight. As a matter of fact, the world, needed to learn, how our governing structure, was. With the Oba of Benin at the very apex of it, and the palace chiefs, down to the Niges, down to the, Audion Wores, if you may, to the Igbamans, to this, there were different levels and all of that. These were part of our identity. Another identity of the average, Benin people. Today we carry, some of us carry passports, we have Nigerian passports. There are people who have lived long, in the West, for instance, having European passports and all of that, British passports, Spanish passports in some cases. And there are those of us that, even people who carry even more than one European passport. But these passports, you hold them in documents. But the truth of the matter is this. Let's just understand this. The truth of the matter is this. Before the document passport was born, the Benin Kingdom already had a passport. Before Europeans ever came with documents to say, but this is called passports that identify people, as nationals of this and that, and the whole world started buying into it. I don't know if it actually started from the Europeans, but I want to say that we already had our own passport in our own identity. Very unique. So the uniqueness of the Benin's, in fact, is something that we cannot in any way water down. And anything that tries to water it down must be met with resistance. And somebody asked me, yesterday or so, when I was talking about this, I was asking me how would the Benin's have passport? I told the person, I said, do you know that a proper Benin man has a family greeting uniquely to their family? You understand what I'm saying? There are people who greet, for instance, if somebody greets Lamogun, you easily will identify that this person is from the lineage of the palace, from the lineage of the Oba of Benin. You understand the picture of what I'm saying now? And that greeting identifies you as a human being, as a Benin person, to a particular family. So everybody that is Benin has that identity, which is the person's passport. If you greet Laloke, Lavize, Labo, you identify. A proper Benin man, when you greet Labo, we know exactly where your heritage is from, where your root is from as a Benin man. You greet Lavize, exactly where you are from, we know. This is a form of passport. This actually is a passport that is done in paper. It's a passport that is embedded inside who we are, our very essence. And this essence has an inseparable relationship with the palace of the Oba of Benin. So the importance of the palace of the Oba of Benin cannot be overemphasized. That's one. Now, over the years, from time immemorial, like I tried to explain earlier, there has been, a strong line of governance, with Oba at the very top of it. There is no Enogie, okay, that made himself. It is the palace that constitutes all Enogies. They are all part of the extended structure of the palace. Like I said before, I am not, whatever I'm discussing right now is devoid of, I'm not talking about AY the second. I'm not talking about I'm talking of the institution, because the city is sat right now. His own fathers before him sat there, Obas and Ogisos and every other thing, and the relationship only got better, more strengthened. You understand the nature of what I'm saying, and every other thing. So everything. If you get to any village in the kingdom, okay, where you have probably an audion way, and you have age groups, you have this, you have that, you have that. All of these people are all extended arm, of the government of the palace of the Oba of Benin, because they are all helping to govern the kingdom. Away, no, go back dole do ye. You understand what I'm saying? Or back gualo. You understand the one who is going to help the palace, help the Oba, to do good in the land is what the Oba desires. So everything we are. And if you move away from some of the things I've explained right now, today the world talks about our artifacts all over the world. These artifacts were made by the Benins, okay, to what's it called? To pay obeisance to the palace, to record our history, to document our history, to create a spiritual connectivity that we draw our essence in. You understand what I'm saying now? So these artifacts, I mean, we had artists, they were the guild of, artists. No artist in the kingdom in those days ever, made any art, you understand what I'm saying now, independently for its own aesthetic value. Every artwork in the kingdom, okay, pre the era that we are right now, was made, to glorify the palace, to document the exploits of our royal majesties before now, to document the history of our people, the things that we've been through. So every art of work, okay, they were all functional. They were not really for aesthetic purpose. Aesthetics were just something that is secondary. They were all functional. And that is why, when people discuss our artifacts, abroad, and say, man, the importance of these artifacts cannot be emphasized, because these artifacts bring us together. It's like a missing part of us. There's a huge part of our history, our story, that are embedded in those artifacts. And if it's just for us to see the artifacts, and those who know the story can begin to teach us and remind us of, this is why this artifact was made like this, this is why this artwork was made like this is why this artwork was made like this, and all of that. So there are a documentation holistically of who we are. That's exactly what was stolen from us. You understand what I'm saying now? That today we are struggling. The palace is spearheading that struggle to ensure that we get reunited with that we are. Because our whole essence, they are documented in this. I'm trying to break this thing down. I will soon come to the government of Edos State side. You understand what I'm saying? So I begin to, so that we understand where we are. And so, it does not matter what anybody feels or what anybody thinks in the current time, okay? What is most important is that currently our own heritage appears to be under threat. Currently, what we are not seeing appears, I stand to be corrected, and I pray I am wrong about all of this. Okay, what we are not seeing appears to be under some sort of division occasioned by the current government of Edo State. This is what has elicited my own reaction. And it will continue to elicit my reaction. Except, of course, I am corrected otherwise. Okay? Now, even today, some people in the name of, what's it called, chiefs, inigis, paramount rulers, they were today, right with the government. You understand what I'm saying now? Over this issue of disbursement of monies independently to these people and this and that and that, and all that is going on. So apparently, there are groups who are very happy right now, with the exercise that the government is carrying out. The implementation of the law of 1979, as the case is, when Edo State was not even in existence at the time. I think it was Bende State we had in 1979, if I'm not mistaken, and all of that. And there are those who are saying, man, look, this is a clear departure from what has always been. Okay? And all of that. Now, even down to those of us who do not have that direct, connection to these things. I'm not a paramount chief. I'm not receiving anything from the state government as this, cases at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, people are taking sides and beginning to, stress on these issues. Ordinarily, these are things that should not have been a problem to us at all. These are things that we ought to have seen, last working out harmoniously, even without our own getting to know that anything is happening. You understand the picture of what I'm saying now? So some of us are beginning to get very, very concerned that why have we lost this harmony? What is so difficult, in getting this harmony back? Because some people have tried to explain, okay, the palace is an institution that is different from government. The constitution of Nigeria puts government to be number one, palace to be this. I had that conversation with somebody today and every other thing. And my response to the person was that we have always had government. And one beautiful thing about this whole arrangement is that the palace is constant. Those in government, they come and they go. And we have always had people in government. And we've always had palace permanent. You understand what I'm saying now? We seldom have issues where, we see this something near a clean break between government and the palace. This is where it is this vacuum that is raising all of these doors. And that is why I established earlier. I tried to establish earlier, okay, the connection we as Benin and as Edo people have with our palace. So which meant that it does not matter what you become in Edo State, whether you are a governor, you are a commissioner, you are this, you are that, you are that, and all of that, while those ones are just ephemeral, they are temporary, as it were, there is something that's still constant about you. And that is that you are an Edo indigene who is, inextricably tied to your origin. And that your origin, is part of the whole essence that, the palace is a custodian of. And it is what we, the Beninese, it is part of what we are proud of. Now, I tell you the truth. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's your own, whatever it is. Without the palace, as we have it, a huge part of our own identity is gone. It's gone. A very huge part of it is gone. As a matter of fact, we cannot even be identified without the palace. Because a Benin man, you understand, for those who know, what Benin Kingdom is and every other thing, when you say you are from the kingdom, okay, people quickly look beyond you and try to look at some of those things that the world can talk about the kingdom. And those things are the identity that we hold very, very dear. I have lived abroad for the most of the last 25 to 30 years. I've lived in Germany. I've lived in Spain. Lived in Spain for a very long time. Got married there. Had my children in Spain. I live in England right now. Just like Benin Kingdom, we have a kingdom. You know, we have the the United Kingdom, and we have the King of England. Previously, it was the Queen of England. We have that monarchy here, and the relationship between the monarchy and the government, I mean, it's very clear for the world to see. The monarchy does not, directly, publicly interfere with what governance is. And the monarchy doesn't, go and kneel before government. It doesn't. For everything you see, it is the government that goes to the monarch. Everything you see. The same way it is with Spain. As a matter of fact, Spain just had their elections recently and they're trying to form a government. Everybody right now is queuing round the King of Spain because he's the person who can give that authorization for, somebody to go and form a government and all of that. Constitutionally, the Prime Minister of Spain, you would say, is, constitutionally more than the king, or as the case may be, and all of that. But everybody's got their roles. But what's most important is that nobody, particularly on the part of government, feels bigger, than the king. The same way it is with England, as it were. Now, the monarchy in England is a ceremonial, monarch. But that's what the Constitution says. But in practice, we understand that this is more than just being ceremonial because of the role, you understand, and the application of emotional intelligence by, those in government, by ministers, by everybody. You understand the picture of what I'm saying now? Now, the Constitution of Nigeria is quite different. The Constitution gives all the power to government, and as people have argued, and rightly so, and all of that. But because of, how intricate we are as a people, because of how tired we are as a people, nobody of any other extraction will become a governor in Edo State. No. The person, whoever becomes a governor in Edo State, must be somebody of the Edo extraction. Whether the person is some man or some, Esakoma, is a Benin man, but it's somebody from Edo State. And historically, there is a relationship already existing, a bloodline relationship between the palace and everybody, whoever will ever emerge as a governor, or make part of the government of Edo State. So, while the Constitution provides for this and this and this, clearly identified what previous governments have always done, was to now use their emotional intelligence and understand, the bloodline relationship, a bond that can never be broken, that can never be strained, and deal with the palace along that line of understanding so that there will not be friction. Because irrespective of the fact that there is a government, at Osadebe Avenue in Benin, irrespective of that fact, the vast majority of the Beninese, most especially, hold the palace supreme. They are not interested in what the Constitution says. It's not important to them. They come out, they exercise their civic duty, taking part in elections, getting somebody elected, and they expect that this person being elected will use the government to form a stronger bond with the palace for the progress of the Edo State people. I've had conversations. I had some this evening. I had some yesterday. I've been having some on this subject matter. You understand what I'm saying now? So I'm not trying to give this expose. You understand what I'm saying? As to why we are concerned and we're asking questions, because we cannot deviate from what ought to be. Here in the United Kingdom, if you are a citizen of the United Kingdom, or probably you have, an indefinite leave to remain, you know, and all of that. You are entitled, you know, if you have children, you are entitled to child benefits, right? That's for your children. Now, in this country, okay, my children get child benefit in this country, okay, and we are told that this child benefit is being paid by the monarchy, by the king. That's what we are told. And there are so many things in this country, you know, so many, everything about this country, okay, is in the name of the king, in the name of the king. But practically, for those who of us in this place, okay, we do understand that the balancing out of all of these things, the payment of child benefit and this and that that is in the name of the king, is actually being done by the prime minister and his government. That is why they are the ones who can wake up tomorrow and say, oh, for a first child who is getting maybe £20 weekly for child benefit and the other one £13 and this, like that as the case may be, oh, because of the strain right now, we want to reduce that, you know, child benefit, or want to increase, or want to, you know, so I'm saying, they legislate on it and they pass the law and it becomes law. But all of these will always be in consultation with the palace of the United Kingdom. So while our constitution, like I said earlier, in Benin Kingdom is different, you get a picture of what I'm saying now. Some of us expected that, you know, the relationship between our kingdom, Benin Kingdom, and the monarchy and the palace, okay, would be a lot more cordial. So that we won't have this one speaking here, the other one speaking here, people taking sides and arguing based on the sides that they are taking and what their understanding is. Now, for anybody who stands maybe as the head of government in Edos State, not to understand this as very important tool of keeping all of us together, and just to and the person starts doing things as is being alleged, we can suspect, we can see differently, creating this division that we sort of see, it becomes an issue that must elicit our concern to ask the necessary questions. And that's exactly what's happening in this state. Now, I'll give you an example. When Governor Baseki became governor of Edo State, one of the first things that took place, and some of us were really, really proud and happy about it, there was the excesses of CDAs and all of those things, and people were even complaining about, you know, our women and some very, you know, not dignifying act that they do outside of the country and all of that. And your Monomba and of course the palace chiefs came out and made certain pronouncement concerning CDA. You know, that this thing is rejected by the palace, and they make some very strong pronouncement. In the wake of that, following that, before we knew what was happening, the government embraced this, okay, and through the House of Assembly, okay, enabling laws were passed, and before you know what was happening, in fact, there was a period of some serenity across the kingdom, and everybody was pleased. That was the beginning of the first term of you know, Godwin Obaseki, and everybody was pleased. Everybody was really, really, really happy. That exemplifies some of the things I'm trying to talk about right now. Omonoba nedu uku akbolo, you know, Oba that is much talked about, that the voice can see so often, and yet the eyes sees very, scarcely. Omonoba paid the governor a courtesy visit in his office, which, if he didn't do that, it's not expected. You understand what I'm saying now? And all of that. But many people saw this as extension of that relationship, so that this relationship can be cordial going forward. And I thought that things were relatively cordial. Now, where we started seeing separation was, I don't know if any other thing has happened previously, but where we started seeing this separation was when this issue of artifacts started. As a matter of fact, the Oba spoke about this once, and let me correct one impression. And I think that the Oba, for those who are, some people have made that very, unwise statement to say maybe the palace should, explain to the public, and I shut them up. You understand what I'm saying now? The palace. Oba o gboriri, Oba o gboriri. Say the palace cannot descend or condescend to that. No. Etora son and kenugba ola. When there's so much hair all over your face or your head, we still identify where the face is. The Oba of Benin, His Royal Majesty, is not in a position at all to come up publicly and explain anything to anybody. No, he won't do that. As a matter of fact, for those Benin who probably have that line of thinking, I will encourage you to desist from it forthwith. Because there's a history behind this throne that we cannot afford to water down. And if this history faces challenge, it behoves on us to resist that challenge. It behoves on us to speak out with the aim of correcting whatever abnormally may be taking place. Now I zero down to this issue of governments making an announcement that they have increased, allocations or subvention, whatever, that is going to paramount rulers and every other thing. And the question I'm asking is, were these paramount rulers not being paid previously? What was the channel? What is happening? Before this announcement was made, was there a conversation? God bless you, Ivy Rose. Somebody talk about himself. Was there a conversation? Because the person or the institution that should go to the palace to have a conversation is the government. I stand to be corrected, but it doesn't seem that a conversation like that has taken place. It doesn't seem so. It doesn't. Now, it is not looking, I stand to be corrected, like government is using government power and resources to want to divide the influence of our palace. That is what it is looking like. I stand to be corrected. That is what it is looking like. Our palace has wide influence. The emergence of Nigeria, constitution and these seem to now streamline the influence. But within the sphere of the United Kingdom of Great Benin, within the confines of this South, Edos State most especially, for extend to Delta State, the Oba's influence is palpable. The palace influence is palpable. And this is part of what forms our essence as a people, our dignity as a people, and all of that. And therefore, I would have expected that as good as it may seem that government is, increasing revenue allocation or this or whatever terminology they have used, I would have expected that there would have been that relationship where the government had gone to the palace to say, Baba, this is what the package is. Oh, this is fit for purpose, that is fit for purpose, that is fit for purpose, and let's get it done like this. So at the end of the day, you won't have different voices flying around. Some in defense of the palace and some in defense of government. Again, emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence. Oh, somebody said, oh, the constitutionalists, this, that, that. There are those of us who don't know the Constitution. People from Edo State, from Benin Kingdom don't know the Constitution, who just know that. Egwanahin. Mamon ba men, Edo egwa we say. Mamon ba men, Edo egwa we say. Ani kiki bawo die do na na gbi na ba moto egwa no iki abohin yona. The song he want to say iwi na negwa ye ne do ye me egwa we see. Today I saw that some of the paramount rulers or whatever the case is were having a meeting with the government, of course in acceptance of getting the bugri that government is providing and every other thing. And the question I ask myself is, I have not heard that the government of Edo State appointed or installed any enogie. Every enogie in the kingdom and beyond, under the influence of the kingdom, were installed by the palace of the Oba of Benin. Every one of them. Which means that the people that are going to benefit this package that government is bringing, they are the same people that the palace has given blessings to be head of their own small jurisdictions. But at the end of the day, they are all, supposed to be paying obeisance to the palace from where they take their authority from. So when there are issues, it is the palace that deploys people to go and resolve issues. From time immemorial, whenever issues all over across different parts of the state, when they cannot resolve it at the level of, seeking, where people seek, seek justice. You understand what I'm saying? I'll be at the court of Odionwe, at this, or from family level to Ikegbe, to this, to that. The final court, the supreme court of the kingdom, is the palace of the Oba of Benin. And whatever decision the palace takes on any of these issues is final. People must understand. But a lot of people don't understand what our kingdom is about. Whatever you see being practiced by Nigerian government or any other government across the world today, we have been practicing it long ago. If as a young Benin man, I have issues with maybe probably another Benin man that we are unable to resolve, we take it to our families are unable to resolve, we take it to Ikewu. You understand what I'm saying now? If they are unable to resolve it, they take it further. They're able to resolve it. The final court, supreme court, is the palace. And whatever decision the palace makes, that's the final. There will be villages, they still are, there will be tomorrow, that are in contestation for territory to say, well, this is not where my land passed, that's where my land passed. It has led to squabbles, to fights between villages. And those issues are brought to the palace. And the palace sends palace chiefs to go and, demarcate the thing appropriately. And that is where we have one important tree we call Ichini. They use Ichini and they plant it to say this is the boundary. From here to here is for this village, from there to there, for that village. We don't want to hear any issue anymore. In most cases, those matters end there. So a lot more. So when that music came out, the Momo Bami and every other thing, one music I love so much spoke extensively about the history and governance and government of the palace of the Oba Benin Kingdom. So beyond what you see government does or do constitutionally, okay, beyond what you see, there's a lot going on traditionally that the palace stands for. And the palace can only enhance governance. Can only enhance governance. Only when those in government are emotionally intelligent enough to work with the influence of the palace to create better harmony across the state. Is that happening today? I leave that question for you to answer. Now, this brings me to another point. People have called me out, like as I understand, to question my loyalty to Governor Obaseki. Some are spoken to me privately and say, "Man, what happened? You were one of the faces, that we saw, canvassing for the governor to be re-elected the second time and every other thing." I want to correct one impression here. We are who we are. I am whom I am. I have always mentioned Governor Obaseki is a man I have love and respect for, largely. But my support for Governor Obaseki was not a blind support for a man. It was a support to have a better Edo State. To have Edo State under the hands of somebody, the hands of somebody that I believed would reposition Edo State. It's just as well like Peter Gregory Obi. I've met him a couple of times, I think, but there's nothing attached. I don't know him from Adam, but I've always seen from where I've seen him from to say, yes, and this time we can entrust this country in this man's hand and we'll be sure that something will come out of it. That was what formed, my support for the governor of Edo State. And I want to say, without fear of intimidation, that if 2020 election repeated itself the same way it did when Obaseki was contesting a second term, looking at how unjust I thought Osomole was, and how Osomole, disregarded all the Edo State people, I wanted to impose himself as that godfather and every other thing, I will definitely stand out against to support the governor of Edo State. Nothing will change it. If the whole circumstance was the same way, the same candidates, the same everything, I still will be supporting the governor of Edo State, Governor Obaseki. But that doesn't mean that when I see what is right, I don't know. When I see what is wrong, I don't know. That doesn't mean that I will be foolish. I am not foolish to loyalty. My loyalty to Edo State is sacrosanct. And my loyalty to the palace of the Oba of Benin is sacrosanct. There's no negotiations about this too. It does not matter. It doesn't matter. So I want people to understand that. More so, and I'm saying this live, more so, I did not support the governor of Edo State when he was contesting for office for any personal interest or personal gain. As a matter of fact, I am not owing the governor, his team, his campaign, anybody in government, one dime. As a matter of fact, if I have to sit down and estimate probably how much I spent in the governor's election, they will be running into several millions. Because I can count number of days I will cancel work. I will cancel work to just stay to ensure that we do what we have to do for the campaign. A lot of people did spend their time and every other thing and all of that. All of it was in the bid to have a better Edo State. Peter Obi is very far away in wherever he is and every other thing. I have spent a lot of my time, resources, everything, equally supporting him. Because I believe. So it doesn't matter how much I spend on what I believe in very strongly. I hosted the governor on my platform, for several weeks before elections. Some human beings talk like there was something like a contestation, like maybe I was contesting. Everybody was coming out to support the governor, you understand what I'm saying, and every other thing, independently or in connection with this or in connection with that and every other thing. There was something like a contestation. My hosting the governor, nobody even knows how that came about, as a matter of fact. Nobody even know how that came about. And I believe it. If today I consider that I want to host the governor again, I'll write and I'll ask, I will invite him. If he responds, he responds. And we'll get it done. That's what I want to do. But do I really have the energy to go into that? I probably don't. But that is on one side. Now, I'd like to establish this very importantly. I am not a Facebook rat. In recent time, I don't even do broadcasts regularly. People are like, where have you been in recent time? You understand the picture of what I'm saying now? Because I'm really, really working hard. I have my own job. I'm not somebody who is on Facebook 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day. I'm not even saying this because I think I'm better. No, I'm not better than people whose job is Facebook. Probably that's where they get their living from. I don't earn a living from Facebook. I don't do my things because I want to. So this is very important. I think I see this Facebook, social media as a tool for me to be able to pass a certain message that I think I have to influence society for the better. And that is why I'm not in the business of discussing people, individuals. Like a lot of people, they're in that business. You understand? And I can understand why. Probably that is where their own earnings come from. You understand? I criticize authorities. I suggest to authorities. I talk about government and governance. That's my niche. I don't carry people to say, oh, now this one not married, and so the other one, this one, so now, you know what I'm saying? I don't do that. And I don't witch hunt people. It's not my niche. But for those whose is their niche, okay, of course they're in their own right to do. I don't. I avoid even mentioning people's names on my platform. I can call the governor's name because the governor is an authority. So I speak about authorities. I talk about Tinubu. I talk about all of these authorities because their power of influence is something that affects me directly and indirectly. So for anybody whose whatever he is in his private life, does not affect me, in any way. I mean, they don't come onto my platform for discussion. And for those who are so unguided, you understand the picture of what I'm saying now, and who are so whitewashed, you understand what I'm saying now, and are highly unguided to call some of us out, and say it's rubbish. We don't respond to things like that. Honestly, we don't. But maybe at some point our response will come, but it will come not in the way that is known, that is people know. You understand what I'm saying now? But that's not an issue for us. But I just want to place this fact on the table. You understand the picture of what I'm saying now? And this is how it was. Now, even when the governor got elected and every other thing, there are things that the governor promised. Today, I hear a lot of calculation, even from the governor's mouth, that he's aiming right now to finish well, to finish strong, and every other thing. I mean, don't get it wrong. You understand? Whenever Governor Obaseki has credit as a person, I will give him credit without missing words. And if you ask me, I can tell you that Obaseki has done well in some areas. And his government, as far as I'm concerned, today, they have not finished their tenure. Today, there are areas where I consider that his government has goofed woefully. And I mean, I'm going to come to that point, where I will, speak very loudly about all of this. And I am loyal to Edos State. antagonistic of the government of Edo State. I just want to, speak the thing the way they are. You understand what I'm saying? Because I am not, I have not compromised myself in any way. You understand the picture of what I'm saying now? I am not looking for anything from anybody. I have not asked anybody anything. As a matter of fact, the much that I have asked for under the government of Obaseki, that I have asked for, has been public-oriented. Things that the whole of Edo State will benefit from. I have asked for that. I have not asked for anything personal, because even when some persons who think they can influence something personal has come to me, I've said, no, I'm not interested. No. I'm a very happy family man where I am. I'm pleased where I am. As a matter of fact, I can't even, so, but that's just one. I don't want to sound immodest, but this is just what it is. So my loyalty when I speak is to Edo State, most especially, and to Nigeria. And so everything that will make these two nations, Nigeria and Edo State, become greater and greater, I love it. So talking about Obaseki's performance, in my own opinion, so far, I think that when it comes to the issue of civil service in Edo State, the man has been spot on. Reviving our secretariat, concentrating everything and ensuring that we have a proper working civil service. I think he has done excellently well. We're not going to take that away from him. We're not. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm going to be speaking to some of these things, as time goes on. And there are a few things too here and there that we can say, okay, he did well in these. You understand what I'm saying now? With resources, he will pump into some things that some of us think that, man, why? What was the need for these? You understand? We are going to ask some those questions when the time comes, because we are only putting our records together. And we're not going to do it foolishly and blindly. Oh, Obaseki, yeah, in some things. No. And this is the truth. And sometimes, for those of us who are bold enough to speak like this, if we are wise to be dispassionate, you know what I'm saying now, it will make even the government perform better. You understand the picture of what I'm saying now? This is the truth. In recent time, people have been speaking about roads, the issue of roads in this, road in that, road in that. The state government coming to talk about, oh, that one is a federal road, this one is a federal, that's a federal road. I've seen some things that are honestly, I feel disgusted by. You understand the picture of what I'm saying now? Federal road, this federal road, that. To the extent I even saw a place, two spots where there was a signboard posted, and the signboard was reading, "Bear with us, this is federal road." Whether it was posted by Edo State government, I don't know. Now the question I ask myself is, how about the series of other state roads that were not done, that have not been done, that are not passable, that are making life difficult for the people of Edo State? Is it that the local government councils will go and only put signboard in those areas and say, "Bear with us, these are state roads"? Is that what it is? Some arguments have not been very, very convincing. And this is the truth of the matter about all this matter. And so there are a few other things. You understand what I'm saying now? But would the road matter generally, classify whether Governor Obaseki, is going to finish well and strong or not? Where? That remains to be seen. Other things, I remember back in the day at the uni, you are constantly reminded that you are judged in character and learning. If you do well in learning, excellent student, A student, every other thing, and you don't have character, you have messed everything up, you may not get your desired certificate. Now, as a government, in character and learning, can we say that this government has done well and this government is going to finish well? That again is a question that we need to answer. I've said just now, eulogize the government for what he has done with the civil service. I am really proud of this government. I don't know if there was anybody that would do that. In the state, in Nigeria today, this government is the only government that is paying 40,000 minimum wage. So it's kudos to Governor Obaseki in this regard. And I'm very proud. As I say, man, if the whole situation repeats itself again, I will not hesitate to support him the way I did, nearly 3 years ago, as the case is. But Will all of that just, make me just say, okay, because I supported Governor Obaseki in 2020, so whatever is happening right now, it's a blanket check. It cannot be. Not with me. I have never been known to be like that. You understand the picture from I'm saying that? Because at the end of the day, a better state in truth and the spirit is what we desire. Right now, the state is hugely divided. It's hugely divided. And I can say, without fear of contradiction, that the division we are experiencing in Edos State today, it's largely due to, lack of situational awareness by the government of Edo State. Lack of understanding of how, intricate Edo State people are. And being able to manage all of these. We have had a governor, that's, he's a fighter, which I love him for some fighters he has fought. But man, the Benin man says, I said why you cannot turn all the bushes around you into bushes full of snakes. Because in those days, when a snake enters a bush, you set fire in that bush. When you see a snake, you set fire just to ensure that you're able to kill the snake or ward the snake off. But by the time you turn all the bushes around you into bushes full of snakes, that means you are going to set fire everywhere and burn yourself eventually. And I say that because I sit down and ask myself, are setting fires actually necessary? Because there's been so much fight. Right from when the Excellency was in APC, people, we have justified some fights in PDP. There are some we cannot justify, even right now with his own deputy governor. And look at what appears now to be happening now, right now, with the palace. Some people have referred to the issue of artifacts, a MOA, and this and that and that. I remember yesterday, on the day for yesterday, I think, I was talking to somebody who called me from somewhere, about the artifact matter. I said, even if artifact is, to be honest with you, you understand what I'm saying now? There was nothing that negotiations was not going to resolve. There was nothing that truth and honesty wasn't going to resolve. I think that when His Royal Majesty when he spoke, he was constrained to speak that one time. And I picked so many things from what he spoke. There was a particular thing Omonoba said. He said, my father who has joined his ancestors, wanted Benin Royal Museum. And I don't think that that's a big thing. If anybody understands, okay, the power of that, and Oba looking to fulfill one of the wishes of his father who has joined his ancestors, then we can understand the power of of these things. And I told this young man that was talking to me on phone, I said, all probably that needed to enter the negotiation was that, okay, there is this arrangement to have a MOA, fine. There is no crime in having a MOA in Benin Kingdom and equally having Benin Royal Museum. London has more than 5 museums. As a matter of fact, that was the ones you know publicly. London alone has a series of museums, private museums everywhere. And I thought that discussions could accommodate everything, and yet the wish of Oba Ediawa will be realized with harmony, without rancor. But it's now looking like some people have argued that we have a governor who is vindictive. But again, it remains to be clearly proven. The Benin man says, when lie resembles truth, there's a chance that we believe. All that need to have been done. Even the Omonoba in his statement, I remember, it keeps playing in my head. He says, if the governor had been honest and open, he said everybody will benefit. The worst of Omonoba. So what was the problem? It all boils down to emotional intelligence and situational awareness. And people right now are claiming that all of these issues right now, okay, that is happening right now, between, oh, we have increased money, we have do this one, done this one, we have done this, we have done that, we have done that. Now, as foolish as it may seem, I told somebody this evening, he's even watching me right now, as foolish as it may seem, okay, I just think that all of those publications, they are all attempts to water down the glory of the palace. And I don't like it one bit. Because as we are here, as a people, never have the government of Edo State made any publication to say this is what the governor of Edo State earns monthly. This is what he gets from security vote. This is what the people in government earn. If they increase salary of this, increase subvention of this, and all of that, why have we not heard, the figures that is going to government? Why are we not hearing? Why? So it is that of the palace that we can announce, we are giving this to the palace, we are giving it to this, we are giving it to this, we are going to pay this one directly. I don't have a problem with any of these. Why was there no proper discussion? You have repeated, Monobane Do remains the supreme authority, a supreme authority that you did not, well, I'm assuming, I hope I'm wrong, I may be wrong about this. Did you have a discussion with this supreme authority to be on the same page? Did you? The people who went to the government house today, were they installed as a negiers in their own domains by the government or by the palace? Were there palace representatives today at the government house in the name of these people and chiefs coming to come and accept and thank the governor for what the governor is doing? Were they representatives of the palace? These are fundamental questions. There are certain paramount rulers, one or two, that appear to have, they are entangled in some, issues, some disagreements with the palace. I hear that some of them were in the government house today. A friend to my enemy is definitely my friend. A friend to my enemy is definitely my enemy. All of these things, okay, needed not to happen at all. They needed not to happen. But what needed to happen did not happen, and that is why. So when people now come up publicly to say that the government of Governor Obaseki is being vindictive, okay, as false as it may seem, the events happening around will make people believe. Today, what is out there that the ushers of the governor, will not be telling him is that Edo is hugely divided because of what is happening right now. The people of Edo State are hugely divided. As a matter of fact, a serious campaign is ongoing right now. That for the next governorship election, anybody supported by the governor of Edo State must lose. That is a conversation ongoing right now. Is it supposed to be like that? I don't think so. Is there time for steps to be retraced and some harmony to be built? I think there is. I think that the government of Edo State need to look at everything, you understand what I'm saying now, and do the right thing. And the right thing, I did ask a question. There's a palace chief I spoke to, sometime a week ago when I was trying to put up all of this information together, and I asked, when was the last time the governor of Edo State was in the palace of the Oba of Benin? Even if it's just a courtesy visit. And the man says, I cannot remember. That's ages ago. What is it? Somebody stood on his platform to say the governor of Edo State is the son of the Oba. I know what a son and father relationship is if I see one. I know. I know. A young man called me yesterday. He called me online. He said, "Why don't you speak with me privately?" He called me from Italy. The man was crying. He said, "Our palace don't merit a humiliation like this from our government, irrespective of whoever is there." He sees humiliation. Many people do see humiliation. So at the end of the day, I never knew that parable, that it is a useless child who will see his father being molested and he will go down and be asking what happened. I never knew that parable. I was but a child when I heard it for the first time. And how did I get to hear that parable? I remember there was this young man, they call him old soldier. He's been to the wars, and also a retired soldier. He was living, in my neighborhood at the time. I don't know if I was even up to 15 years at the time. And on a certain day, I was coming from outside and people were gathered. My father was in the midst and the man was shouting. He was actually shouting at my father. The man is so feared by the people. I didn't know what was happening. But that this man was shouting at my father was what I saw from afar. And what happened next? In fact, the man woke up in the hospital. Because of my reaction. I ran away and they were, using, police to look for me. And when the man eventually recovered from the hospital, he came to beg my father for the mistake he made. And what happened, according to what they explained, was that his own children had altercation with my siblings, my younger ones. And he was not reacting like that to my father. And it was what I saw. And I ran into the crowd, pounced on him with all that anger. Thank God, nothing terrible happened. And eventually, I went to hide in the village for about 3 days. Eventually, when the dust settled, I came back. And my father bought me one of the best gifts that I had been asking for that they didn't buy for a long time. At that time, he bought that gift for me. And he told me that party for the first time. He said, and from then on, the man will wake up in the morning, will first of all come to my father to come and greet my father with respect, because he knew that, and that sent message across to the entire neighborhood. That exactly is what the Beninese must understand, that we, as a people, we owe our palace. And for those who are wise, who have the ears of those in government, and who are even working in government, they must equally understand that they need to tell those in government to retrace their steps. Because I have vene there. We don't need to go into any of these. We just we have respect for our government. We have respect for our palace. We just want our government to understand the importance of our palace to the average Benin man, to all of us, and to those in government. Okay, Dane, there are Benin serving in this government who are actually helping to sign letters, helping to organize these things and all of that. Is it that all of you are on the same page? Is nobody talking to nobody in that same government? Everything I'm saying right now, I keep saying that I hope I am wrong about all of these, that they are all speculations. In that case, I will be very sorry. But when lie resembles truth, you believe. So when that human being who said, oh, maybe the palace need to come out and issue a statement, and this is look man, if you don't have self-respect, some of us do, and most of all, The palace is highly dignified and it's a respectable palace. My father used to tell me when I was growing up, because I was raised with values. He used to tell me when I was growing up that when you see a child, okay, what's it called, or when an adult, comes to report a child, don't set the adult and the child to start explaining. This one I explain, that one I explain, and all of that. If an adult, comes to report a child, okay, whatever may have happened, forget it. Just take the word of the adult, caution the child. You understand? If it's your child, take the child in and privately ask the child a question. You understand the picture from I'm saying? And what happened and every other thing. Because if you not bring the child and the adult is standing, the adult came to report the child is standing and asking the child what happened, and the child is explaining, and the adult is explaining, you are disrespecting the adult. You are disrespecting the adult who came to report. These are values that, our fathers before us, they grew up with, just to maintain some line of respect in society and create that harmony that makes everybody happy. I roll the dice to the government of Edo State. They can see savage whatever situation is ongoing right now. There is no need for any division. The increment of allowances to chiefs and every other thing, very well intended from the face value. A very good thing. We will appreciate that our institutions, they are looked after very well. But let us follow these things in a procedural manner. That even though it is not constitutionally written, but it is written in our hearts, in observation of situational awareness and emotional intelligence. If Governor Obaseki retraces his steps and get some of these things done, we won't have any discussion or debate like this. Everybody will be happy. On the final notes, Edo State people, this matter is an ongoing matter. I'll be talking about it, regularly, just to remind us, because many of us are confused. We don't know exactly, what we are talking about. Very many of us. You understand? I am not a political shoe shiner. I don't play to the gallery. For those who are, Obaseki, the Obaseki that I know, okay? It's not all those nonsense will not even make him recognize any of you, particularly for those who think that they want something out of government and every other thing. The more foolish you are, praising the name of Obaseki in foolishness, the farther you are from the real things that go on in government. As a matter of fact, Obaseki is a man that I come to see who even respects people who are critical of him in distance. More than those Oshins you see, without very highly misguided, saying all sort of rubbish everywhere. Those things, Obaseki will just look at those things and like, what are these ones doing? Obaseki is too proud a man, okay, to sit down in the table of governance, to sit down with some social media recalcitrant that they are discussing something on the table of governance. He would do that. Even though that recalcitrant is preceding Obaseki, he won't do that. He would rather prefer that man that is sparsely known to come and sit with him than you who is doing all the work like, hey, you are doing this and he's looking at you like a fool. And you think you are smart. You think that you are defensive of Obaseki. I think I have come to know that man that well. He won't do that. He won't. Fellow Nigerians, there's too much to say. In summary, what I've come to say here is to first of all appeal to those in government. There are steps they can take now, and things will be better and more like it for all of us. There are people who have called me who have said, man, wow, that we need reform. Our palace need reform. This, that. I'm Konya Kosi. Omonoba Neduku Akbolo by the second, since he came on board, has been involved in series of reforms. And it's ongoing. There are people that have been dislodged from their positions in the palace because of their excesses. There's a huge facelift given to the palace that you go to the palace right now, you know, it is befitting of a palace. Okay, and all of that. And there are other things that this palace can do, that the government can aid the palace to do. It will be in the name of the palace, to the benefit of Edo State people. But it will be, you know, a matter that is empowered by government enabling laws. This is the truth. And it is only when that relationship is there and it is strong that these things can thrive. We must understand all of these. All of these. I'm not going to pretend that people don't have one dissatisfaction here and there. You understand? But the truth of the matter is that the truth remains the truth. And that is that truth that I came to try to talk about. To open our understanding a bit more than many of us probably do, you know, see it. There should not be any fight, contestation, whatever, between our palace and government. Government must see herself as part and parcel of the palace. And the palace, as always, whether this or that, the palace remains permanently an institution, not dole doyi. And all that the Oba wants, no go about dole doyi. That's it. So when you become occupy a position where you are not termed as odolevo, or when go about dole doyi, then your position is a proud one. We need all of our paramount rulers to remain one unit. For whatever they have done, whatever they are doing by way of, you know, governance in their own domains, is helping the palace and is helping the government and is helping Edo State. For us to continue to have a state where peace and tranquility and progress, you know, is the order of the day. My people, to say more may be to go out of point. To finally put this matter, you know, to some conclusion, I like to say that what is happening is happening. But let's not forget, Edo State local government election is coming up. And I'm standing here because of what I've seen to advocate strongly for the Labour Party. Please, if you are watching from the diaspora, please let's support the Labour Party. You know, I have a special interest in the local government. And I think that the local government will stand a chance to become very exemplary when it comes to local government affairs, because I have somebody who's running for Labour Party, somebody I know very, very well. I can vouch for. I've been thinking about this person for a long time. You know, Pharmacist Kennedy, Uyi Oriahi. It's going to make a huge difference because he is raised and brought up with certain values, honesty, integrity, and fearlessness, which I think right now we need in these states generally. You know, and across board, I think that right now we need to give more power to, you know, to the Labour Party. Because right now we've seen PDP, we've seen APC. A major party we have not seen is the Labour Party. We cannot completely say Labour Party is going to be this or that, okay? But I think we need to give Labour Party a chance. You understand what I'm saying? Now, let us see in the next 3 to 4, 5 years, you know, let's begin to see if this Labour Party is actually different from the ones we've seen before. Just so that they may not be different. But the fact that Peter Obi keep hammering on it, even when he came to Edo State, he brought all the chairmanship candidates together and he told them, you must fulfill the promises you have made. We are watching you. We know your manifesto. We will follow up on you on this. He gave that instruction. And so, as a leader of the party, I think that there is a new energy inside the party. Yes, Lamide Apapa, I see the pronouncement. It's not an ending matter. An appeal court has made that pronouncement in Owerri. So it remains to be seen if this judgment by appeal court in Owerri, you understand what I'm saying, will supersede the judgment, of the same of appeal court in Abuja. You understand? In any case, I've talking about this their leadership squabble, Moses Adobolo. In any case, I think it's a matter that is going to go to the Supreme Court. But the good thing about it is that it's not a matter that is going to disturb or that will derail the judgment, of appeal court judgment on the presidential election. That is very important. We are waiting for that seriously. Hopefully, everything go well. Obi is pronounced president of Nigeria. Then, I'm sure that whatever we're talking about right now, they will get crystallized. That's for that. So, my people, let's support Labour Party in the local government, in other local government. In other local government, it is Governor Obaseki's brother that is contesting under PDP, another Obaseki. You understand the picture of what I'm saying now? And I don't think that it should be so. You understand the picture of what I'm saying now? So I honestly think that Oredo people should come out en masse, you understand what I'm saying now, and support the Labour Party. Let have other people show face in some of these things. You understand the picture of what I'm saying now? It's very important. So I think I'm going to leave my broadcast there. Please, if you are there, if you are watching this program or you are watching, help share. You understand? I know the beg if you like, you not share. If I don't like, I'm not share. I know the however I go. If you like what I've talked about, share so that more people will see and we take it from there. On that note, my people, the one I talk with, the one I tell from, the one I don't talk with, when I put them for Basura, for being. My name is Comrade Lamtorek. It's been a Comrade Show. Thank you for joining me and staying with me. God bless you. Moses, you'll be contributing. Thank you so very much. I see you, my friend. Moses Edukbolo. Now, let's just the right many minutes for here. Florence, thank you very much for joining. Friday Omori, I always see you. Thank you. You guys have been wonderful. Please share the broadcast. Let's get it around. Alexander Amu, I see you. Whether you would like it to or you put redhead, it doesn't really matter. Just keep doing what you are doing. Let's be active. God bless you. See you when I see you. It's been a Comrade Show, and I'm signing out. Bye for now. Okay, my people.